Hello, this is Michael Christie, the Virginia G. Piper Music Director of the Phoenix Symphony. Whenever one is going to be performing Mozart's Requiem, there are many questions that have to be answered. Most importantly, which edition? Since famously, Mozart left this Requiem incomplete on his death. But in the late part of the 20th century, pianist, music historian, and virtuoso composer himself, Robert Levin, took it upon himself to incorporate fragments of the Requiem that were discovered very, very recently and were attributed to Mozart's work on the Requiem. And so I've selected Robert Levin's completion for this performance. This includes a very interesting Amen fugue, which has never been heard before. Robert really takes a different view on how Mozart would have continued working, given the kind of compositional techniques he was using at the time. And I think what we have here is a true masterpiece and something that is very fitting with the style of music writing that Mozart was undertaking at the time. Was the last work that Mozart wrote before he died, and to give contrast, I wanted to pick one of the very earliest choral works that he wrote as well. And so we have a very early Kiria K33 for orchestra and chorus that will be performed just before the Requiem, just to give our ears a different view of the worlds that Mozart was inhabiting throughout his very impressive life. On the first half of the concert, I wanted to find something a little unusual, but still spoke to the romantic sense of longing and the human spirit as it relates to death. And so Zemlinsky, who was a composer that was writing in the early part of the 20th century, wrote a work in several movements for soprano and baritone and orchestra that is full of the angst and beauty of the early 20th century. Not to be feared by any means, though. This is not modern music in the sense that we might think, but rather a beautiful synthesis of the romantic orchestra with all of its beautiful colors. I think this is going to be a great concert. I think that you're going to be really interested not only in a piece that you haven't probably heard, which is the Zemlinsky, but also Robert Levin's very enticing thought on how Mozart would have completed his Requiem.